everybody, Gamer Penny here, bringing you another episode of our Final Fantasy XIV online Let's Play, and we are back with Vesper. Today, we're going to continue on the main story quest as usual. So let's talk to Cryo. Ooh, we're going to get a 525 weapon. Ooh. Yes, I want that. Give it to me. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope? I was about to make my way to the studium as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with Scholar Contingent and thank him for coming to our rescue in the Rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Thavnair. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Y'shtola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphinaud can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to the phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Alright. Alphinaud. Heading out for a stroll? The Scholar himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphinaud, of all people, worrying over his reputation, and at our alma mater, no less. Well, will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. Alright, we'll take this. Studium. I'm gonna call it Studium. I don't know how to pronounce anything in this game anymore. Here it is, Phenomenon. While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. At the center of what would later become the Studium, it was established to promote the study of aetherological phenomena, hence the name. Though, with aether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life, and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Astral Era, Phenomenon was decreed complete and the Studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in aetherology, the arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields. Standing proud as Charlian's foremost educational institute. Excuse me. We always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited that same foppish speech. Such is his undying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the Studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and aetherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on, you both joined the Studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphinaud actually entered half a year before me. Nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I'm certainly not the Studium's most notorious master debater. My mind goes dirty, man. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow. If nothing else, just remember that this is where the legend of Alphinaud Leveilleur began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were in the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphinaud, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholar Contingent. Other faculty tend to frequent their office, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. They happen to have a summoning bell here, so let's take care of our adventures real quick. Ooh. Okay. Excitable student. That was Alphino Levelure, wasn't it? The Alphino Levelure? And he's with his sister and Master Baldassian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry, you said you're looking for the Scholarch, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere, but Miss Aliopo should have a better idea. Look at him all fawning over him. We Aliopo. Excuse me. Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Ahem. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to the Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Searcher's Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Eye of Pysa this, ton of gigant toad that. Enough to make your hair stand on end. Which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning... I've tracked down my many miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. So what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner? Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for the Scholarch. I'm afraid we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh, you mean him? He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to the Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it at the opposite side of the entrance. The laboratory of sorts. Home to many rare and expensive curios, not to mention alarmingly frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. Ah, in the time it's taken me to tell you all this, the Scholarch has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Huh. Alright, let's go out this way. Got a little warrior of light following us. Yes, the Scholarch was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the auditoriums. Aha, there he is, Monty Chang. I don't know how to really say his name.
Ah, I remember you.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the Annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisoix in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the Forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy.
Aw. Thought we'd get some answers out of him.
Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
That's why the guy at the Forum, like, started choking, like he was being force choked or something.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
Uh-oh, we're being lectured. This brings me back to my college days.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into three forms. Two are of the incorporeal sort, the soul and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third?
Yeah. Corporeal aether.
Yes. Very good.
Good.
This is the form with which the layman is most familiar, consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us. This form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it.
Welcome to the study of the Hyperdome.
Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
Words would go away.
it would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The seventh Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace.
Interesting.
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea.
Huh.
For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable.
Well, we know our soul is kind of intact because we're, with the rejoining and
Well,
everything.
I think that's enough education for today. Now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet.
Cute.
I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
Thank you.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
He loved that. I like him. Yes, we get a new weapon. Been granted the run of Phenomenon. If you are game, Ki Alipo would put your Artin Well, I can't say it. Artisanry to good use. I don't have artisanry. $5.15 head? No, I've got a better one. We need to clean out our bags. It seems like it's probably been forever. When did we run this? Gosh. Okay, we got a new weapon. Ooh, I like that. It looks cool. Okay. Alright, Cryo. 525 chest. I've got a 530 chest. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the Forum's true motives and the mysteries of life itself, for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling this friendship and support will be a great boon to us in the days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the Annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Key Aliapo, as the Scholarch suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. I don't think I have... I'm a 48 Weaver. Don't ask me how or when. That's this. That's an S, right? I think I have to be... Yeah. That's something we'll work on after we beat the expansion. We'll have to do some grinding. Okay. Where are we going to now? Back here. Hey, Raha. Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa Lominsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilebrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Bum, bum. Phew, I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Ritra and the alchemists of the Great Work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here, and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. Wait, why are we waiting Master Matoya's? Is it the Porksy stuff? The tide is about to turn, I can feel it. To Limsa Lominsa. Or as my mom likes to call it, Lisa Lomisa. She can never remember the name of it. Okay. Enter the command room in Limsa. Yes, I would like to go there. Do 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 do. Oh, it's just right down here. It's just right down here. I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and the Sultana, three of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Show me in. 4 of the most powerful women are going to be in the same room now. How about that? My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts, with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge of abductions in Kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph at Radzat Han has given us cause to hope once more. Time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telafari at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. Those brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. Excuse me. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they serve the Telafari's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Telafari. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the Spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Y'shtola's analysis of the Tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the Spires siphon aether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of aether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down, along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honor and glory. No. For the people of Garlemald. Couldn't have put it better myself. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily, for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Raban and Lord Aymeric are overseeing preparations, so I just suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs, and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telafari so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe, in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Sick, we're headed to Garlemald. Speak with Raban at the Alamigan Quarter. Aymeric! Ah, fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he'd go, like a galley cat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he will always be there when you need him. Probably. Ah, the Wanderers return. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Aymeric be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Aymeric's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Ah, hello. Word of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? That's right, they're buds. Strange, I thought you'd have a stake in this. Maybe he could become a scion in the future. That would be sick. I do. The Telafari have laid waste my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varys and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. We will deliver your people from harm in your stead. For what it's worth, you have my gratitude. You and your comrades have the strength and courage to deliver my countrymen. I am certain of it. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Thanks, Amaric. Oh, we're gonna get a surprise present. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Ah, the remaining members of the Scions, your friends and most of the Ilsabard contingent await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yes, please. Yes, please.
By the 12.
Holy smoke. Look at all of them. Oh! Sickard. Oh, it's the
Glad
archer.
you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia!
Lucia.
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
I love her. Hey!
Might I ask you to speak first?
Cool.
If I must, I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Cool.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Hey, Sickard.
Wait, I know you.
Wait, how
The
did
name's
this...
Sickard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfier to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
How does Graha know Sickard? Did I miss something?
Since we all know how much the Empire loves
This is the guy
steel,
from the...
we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy.
This is the guy from the Scholar. And is this the guy from the Marauder?
Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose
Black
in
Mage,
mind,
obviously.
but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
Oh.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilsabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomidsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolaine! Ah, yes. Emanolaine de Forton, at your service. Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Oh gosh. We're unimpressed. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
Huzzah! Oh gosh.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Is it the warriors from the Azim?
You preening fool!
Yes. Little son. Yes. This is so cool.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as a step is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Sadu Hatun.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
Oh.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Doma. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
Yeah.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
There's a ton of people. This scene was really cool. This is the archer people. Bukabuki. I wonder if like, do more people show up if you have like high level, have finished the quests? Because I have a 71 bard. I love these two. Okay. I think with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the episode here. And when we come back, we'll talk to Y'shtola, and we'll probably head out and go to Garlemald. So guys, I want to thank you so much. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I want to thank you so much for all of your support on this series. If you do want to see more of the Final Fantasy XIV online Let's Play, make sure to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Alright, bye-bye everyone.